entire day.
And we're like 5 miles from a town.
This ruins Christmas.
Okay, I don't know how we are supposed to do this, but we are going to go and get some of these big fat trout that have been hanging out in the shallows of the surf. I need my elite angler trout, and that is my goal for today, is to catch a 21-inch trout. We'll see what happens. We're going to do our best. But the real challenge on this is trying to get these fish without any coffee. I don't know how we're going to make it. Oh, and by the way, I'm here with my dad, and I got Peter.
Yeah. No people.
Yes, nice. Got the beach all to ourselves. Gonna be camping here for just a little while. So yeah, super windy. So we made it. We are down here at the Fish Pass. And unfortunately we're not the first ones here, but there's not that many people. Let's see if there's some fish to be got. You okay there, Peter?
Still waking up.
You look a little awkward just leaning over the truck like you'd had a rough night. Shallow right here, but all these waves wash in, they hit the rock, and then they wash out right next to the rocks. It makes a really strong rip current and a really deep gut. We're putting our baits down in that gut to see if we can't get ourselves some redfish sitting on the bottom or looking around in that current.
keep the spray off the lens.
Yeah, make sure you get a video of that.
Yeah, there we go. Catch of the day.
Yeah, damn hardhead.
That is not the target species. At least I caught a fish. Sea slug. I don't know, but it's a spider. Probably a good red. Unfortunately, he wasn't big enough, but it's still a fun catch. Now, my dad was saying something about he's the only one catching fish. Let's see what he can do.
We were only out there for about 2.5 hours, and in that time, I was the only person that caught a fish at all. And it's not because I'm anything special, it's because I did one thing different, and I want to show you what that is right now. You see, one of the biggest mistakes people make when they are out there fishing at any of those jetties is that they are sitting there and fishing off the rocks. Now let me show you the problem with that. When you're sitting up here on the rocks and you're casting your bait off, you're casting back onto the other side of that channel. Because if you get your bait down into that channel, when you go to pull it up, you're going to get it stuck in the rocks. What we were doing was hanging off on the sandbar next to the channel and casting down into the channel exactly where the fish were sitting. It got a little bit difficult at the end because everybody was piled up on the end of the jetty and we weren't able to get out far enough to get away from their fishing lines, but I guarantee you that's where the fish were, and this is exactly why they weren't catching the fish that were there.
So we managed to get ourselves a nice little redfish and had a whole lot of fun with that. Fortunately, the surf was just not working in our favor, and I did not get my elite angler trap. So that was a fail, but I tell you what, we had a whole lot of fun, and I'm enjoying my time with my dad and brother here. And I think now we are going to go get some coffee.
It's time. It is definitely coffee time.
It is coffee time. Let's do this. Hey, thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate having you here. If you enjoyed this video, Google thinks you're going to like that one right there. Please consider subscribing and slapping that captain's bell so that you never miss an opportunity to come out and get a few reds at the jetty with us.